In the last 48 hours, the world has changed. Not slowly, not diplomatically, but violently, in fire, smoke, and missile trails across the Middle Eastern sky. A supreme leader is dead. A new one has been named in the middle of a war. Oil has crossed $120 a barrel, and 7 American soldiers are not coming home. This is not a simulation. This is not a drill. This is the United States of America, at war with Iran. Stay with us, because in the next 10 minutes, we are going to break down exactly what happened in the last 48 hours, strike by strike, decision by decision, and moment by moment. Recap. How we got here. On February 28, 2026, the United States and Israel launched nearly 900 strikes in just 12 hours, targeting Iran's missiles, air defenses, military infrastructure, and its leadership. That night, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed at his compound. 36 years of iron-fisted rule ended in a tomahawk strike. Iran fired back. Hundreds of drones, ballistic missiles, targets in Israel, targets in the Gulf, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, the UAE, Saudi Arabia. The Strait of Hormuz, one of the most critical shipping lanes on Earth, effectively closed. That was 9 days ago. Now, we're here, and in the last 48 hours, it has escalated further than almost anyone predicted. Hour by hour, the last 48 hours. Saturday, March 8th, day 9, midnight. Oil depots burning in Tehran. Late Saturday night, Israeli jets struck the Sharan oil depot on the outskirts of Tehran. Massive fires. Thick black smoke visible from satellite. Environmental alerts issued across the capital. The Israeli military confirmed it, claiming the facility was linked to Iranian armed forces. It was the first time in this war that oil storage and refining facilities had been directly targeted. Beirut under fire, again. Simultaneously, Israel launched a new wave of strikes in Beirut. Lebanese state media confirmed a strike on a hotel in the city's central Roch district, a seaside tourist area. 4 people killed, 10 wounded. The IDF said it targeted key commanders from Iran's Revolutionary Guard Quds Force, the elite international operations unit. 3 senior Quds commanders were eliminated in the overnight strike. According to the Israeli military, the 7th American dies. On Sunday, the Pentagon confirmed another American casualty. Sergeant Benjamin N. Pennington, 26 years old, from Kentucky, a Space Brigade soldier, died from injuries sustained in Saudi Arabia. He is the 7th United States service member killed in this war. 7 flag-draped coffins, 7 American families. President Trump attended the return of remains. Iran names a new supreme leader. Then came the moment that changed everything in the last 48 hours. On Sunday, March 8th, Iran's Assembly of Experts, the clerical body responsible for choosing the nation's supreme leader, held an emergency vote. Their decision? Mojtaba Khamenei, age 56, the second son of the man America and Israel just killed. In a defiant message to Washington and Jerusalem, Iran chose not a moderate, not a pragmatist. They chose the son, a man with deep ties to the Revolutionary Guard, a man described by insiders as even more hardline than his father. When Trump heard the news, he was blunt. "I am not happy," he reportedly told Fox and Friends host Brian Kilmeade by phone. Later, on camera, Trump said of the new leader, "I have no message for him, none whatsoever." He added that he had someone else in mind to lead Iran, a pointed suggestion toward regime change. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was equally direct. He said Israel would pursue any successor to Khamenei and target those who participated in the selection process. "We seek to destabilize the regime," Netanyahu said, "and enable change." Iran's first missiles under a new leader. Within hours of Mojtaba Khamenei being named supreme leader, Iran launched its first wave of missiles under his command. Iranian state broadcaster IRIB posted a photo of a projectile bearing the slogan, "At your service, Sayyid Mojtaba." Qatar's defense ministry reported a missile attack early Monday morning. Iran's IRGC, far from surrendering, declared its missile program was not destroyed, and that it was now deploying projectiles with warheads weighing more than 1 metric ton. Monday, March 10th, day 10. Oil hits $120 a barrel, then whipsaws. Global markets opened in chaos Monday morning. Brent crude oil, the global benchmark, briefly spiked to nearly $120 a barrel, the biggest weekly gain in oil prices since the COVID-19 pandemic of 2020. The Strait of Hormuz remains effectively closed, shipping lines rerouted, airlines grounded. Dubai International Airport, one of the busiest in the world, damaged by drone strikes and operating at limited capacity. By afternoon, oil swung wildly back, dropping below $90 as Trump held his first press conference since the war began, sending mixed signals about how long the conflict would last. Trump speaks. Soon, but not this week. At Trump National Doral in Miami, the president stood before cameras for the first time since ordering the war. He was asked, over and over, when it ends. His answers were deliberately vague. He said, the U.S. was achieving major strides. He said the war would end soon, but not this week. He said Iran has no navy or air force, implying total dominance. But Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told 60 Minutes just one day earlier that this is only just the beginning. When pressed about the deadly strike on an Iranian girls' own school, a strike where 168 people, many of them children, were killed on the first day of the war, Trump deflected. He said the Tomahawk missile involved is very generic, and that Iran also has some Tomahawks. Human Rights Watch has called for that strike to be investigated as a war crime. The world responds. Russia's Vladimir Putin pledged unwavering support to the new supreme leader Mojtaba Khamenei, calling Russia a reliable partner and saying Iran was facing armed aggression. Switzerland declared the U.S. and Israeli strikes a violation of international law. Pope Leo XIII called for the roar of bombs to cease. The head of the Arab League called Iran's regional missile campaign reckless, a UIS. National Intelligence Council report obtained by the Washington Post concluded that a large-scale assault on Iran was unlikely to topple the government. What comes next? So, where does this go? Here is what we know right now. Iran has fired over 500 ballistic and naval missiles and nearly 2,000 drones since February 28th. The rate has slowed. Analysts say it's a combination of depleted stockpiles and strategic rationing. Iran is not out of weapons. It is choosing when to use them. Israel has warned it has many surprises in the next phase of operations. Its military chief of staff has said the war will take a long time. Netanyahu has vowed to target anyone involved in choosing Iran's new supreme leader. That means Mojtaba Khamenei himself may already be a target. Trump has threatened to hit Iran 20 times harder if it stops oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz, just hours after saying the conflict could end very soon. Those two statements cannot both be true. And for ordinary Iranians, over 2,300 confirmed dead since February 28th, a shattered economy, a reel in free fall, and a new supreme leader chosen not by the people, but by a clerical body in the middle of a war. The future is uncertain. On the streets of Tehran, a woman said of the new leader, "We know he is a murderer like his father." The last 48 hours were not an ending. They were an escalation. We will continue to update you as this conflict develops. If you want to understand not just what's happening but why and when what comes next, subscribe, share this, and stay with us.